Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another Etheria restart video, and today we're going to talk all about this girl right here again. We're going to talk about Tiamat because myself, many other people in the community are still saying that she is the girl you should pick in your select banner if you care about picking the best person. But I've seen a lot of pushback against this. People are saying, no, she kind of like falls off in the mid game. And I think people are missing the boat on just why this character is so OP. So I wanted to highlight that in this video, show you exactly how I would build her as she scales into the mid game, as she scales into the end game, and explain just why she's so broken. And to do that, I'm actually going to start by highlighting another character in this game that's getting a ton of glaze in the community right now, and that character is Marvel. Now, I've even seen people talking about how they would like re-roll for this SR character Marvel, and like, well, that's all great. Tiamat can also basically do this for you. So just watch how this fight's going to start off, right? I'm going to click auto fight, so like, you know, I'm not like manipulating stuff, and watch what Marvel's going to do. He's going to do his little form of CC where he's just going to knock all the enemy team back, buying my team a chance to kind of lead things off. So Marvel knocks everybody back, Lily's gonna speed buff, and now my team gets to perform their like opening combo of moves before the enemy goes. And if we have the damage to kill them, we will just win. Now, Chiaki the Echo is going to try and ruin that. My Rosa is still going to go first. Marvel controlled this fight for long enough that it didn't matter, and we'll kick this fight off. And because we went first, we immediately get that character advantage, and we'll go on to win this fight. And there we go. Went ahead and fast forwarded in time a little bit right there, so you didn't have to watch what ended up being a little bit of a long, prolonged thing. But by getting that momentum lead, by making our team able to execute our combo essentially first, we take the early lead and run them over. And Marvel is getting a ton of love, rightfully so, because he can do that. But do you know who else can do that? All of the other SR characters in this game that are currently getting a lot of love. You've got Marvel, as previously mentioned. Chiaki the Echo pushes your team forward instead of knocking their team back. Kraken freezes everybody. Obel stuns everybody. These characters are getting so much attention. The issue is with a character like Marvel, the big problem with him is, yes, he leads off with his turn meter pushback, and that's awesome. Then he has like a silence that he can land, and that's neat. Like, silence makes it so you can only cast one skill, and that is a really nice little secondary thing he can do. I'll give you that. But then his damage falls off a cliff, and until he can start his combo over again, which is a 5-turn cooldown on his stasis strike, he kind of just doesn't do much for you. That's why Tiamat is the superior choice here. So if we go look at her, she's not a character I'm building on this account because I've used her on like my free-to-play account and in previous betas, and she's hard carried me. Look, she has taunt. If you have the AI run the fight, she will lead with this. Taunt is also a form of crowd control. It doesn't look like stun. It doesn't look like freeze. You don't get that sexy turn meter like knockback that Marvel gives you, but taunting the enemy is essentially a silence, but better. It forces them to attack her, and they can and it says, it's hard to maybe understand when you read this. It says, I automatically cast 1 skills. That means they will cast their basic attack skill, whatever their number 1 skill is. They will do that on her. They have to do it on her. So it is a form of crowd control. And in fact, it's better than just knocking them backwards, because they will use up their turn and then start the turn meter over again. And all they can do for that turn is attack her. And so while that, yes, that's a form of crowd control, and all those SR characters can also offer it, it's the thing that she offers, and the build options that are popular among these characters, they fit her perfectly. So after she does that, she then is able to give your team a shield and be like tankier. So if you're playing the long game, which by the way, the long game becomes the meta, or at least in the last big beta test, the long game where you were just tankier, survived the enemy burst, became the meta later. As shells that help you live through opening salvos, you'll become more popular. Characters like her just gain prominence, right? So she's able to help you survive. Then her damage is really good, especially when you get her to, you know, turn into her ultimate form and start spamming Purge Day. One of the reasons is when you're building characters, like I have my Marvel built right here. Let's look at his build. Look at this. He's stacking Swift Rush for speed and HP. Like, he doesn't do damage. We're not building him to do damage. We're building him to go first and use his crowd control, which Tiamat can do, and then not die. right? Just stand there and not die, and maybe you get back around your second combo. The beautiful thing here is building stuff like HP bonus on Tiamat, which is the build that you're throwing into your Chiaki the Echoes, to your Freyas, to your support characters. It makes her do more damage. So this effect accuracy HP build that you're building on your support characters not only makes Tiamat do the same thing that they do and control everybody, but gives her more damage. And her skill 2 is really good, and her ult form hits like a truck, and it buys her another turn. So like if it's her turn, she goes ult form, she'll do her big tornado, then she gets to go again and do her tornado again. So that's the difference. Tiamat really just is, like, in my opinion, after now having used these SR characters so heavily, she's just the like natural upgrade to them, and that's why I suggest her. Crowd control is just king in this game. Being able to control a fight, whether it's in PvP like I just showed off here, and by the way, farming PvP is super important in this game. As people have covered before, these PvP shops unlock your account in the mid game. She's great at that. Just build her fast enough that she gets to go first, or throw a shell on her that will just like remove any debuff she has on her so she can crowd control the enemy team for you. Boom, you're just unlocked. That also works in PvE. Let her go first, let her get the fight controlled, then whatever other team you're building around her can just come in there and smash things. Now, I will say, there is a game mode that she's not good at. Like if we pull this up on the screen right here, this is the tier list over on Pridewin, and while I don't agree with all of their tiers, if we look at Threshold, there she is, tier 0. If we look at Doki Doki, guess what? There she is at tier 0. If we look at Terramaton, this is where she's bad. Like, you don't run an odd element person to Terramaton, but Pridewin has her ranked as a tier 0 character in every other game mode. And while I actually disagree with placing her in the sustain category at all. Like, I think they actually just messed that up on there. But hey, she does heal and provide shield, so okay, look, I ain't that bad. But I think that she is a control character who also makes your team tankier, provides some healing, and then on top of all of that, the thing she does that the other control characters really don't bring is damage. And that, it's so huge because there's so many fights in this game, and I'm kind of beating the horse dead at this point, but let me just beat it to death one more time. How many fights in this game where it's like a two-way fight, Doki Doki, for example, and you like open up your combo and like you just wombo combo down that first wave, and then the second wave comes out and you're like, man, my Marvel or my Kraken or my Obel have kind of already done their thing, and it's gonna take them 4 turns until they can do that thing again. Tiamat does stuff in the meantime. Yes, you want her to like maybe get her taunt back up again, but in the meantime, she's gonna be giving you a shield. She's gonna give you a heal over time. She's gonna turn into like, Dragon Demon Babe and start whirlwinding everybody to death, and that is just different. Marvel just sits there and auto attacks for like 3 turns, and he's like, well, I'll die or I won't. Maybe I'll crowd control somebody again. She comes in and is doing stuff the whole time. That's what makes that character so good. Control is king in this game. Speed is king in this game. And you build HP on her for damage, so she just doesn't die. All right, that's it, y'all. That's why I think Tiamat's so OP. I'll catch y'all in the next one. I hope that clarified things. Peace.